everyone and welcome to KYE Talks. I am Sonal Ambekar, your host for this interview. Know Your Entrepreneur is a digital platform where we talk to several entrepreneurs who tell us why they chose not to be stuck to the regular 9 to 5. But they went ahead and did something different. They went ahead and chased their passion. One such entrepreneur we will be talking to today is Miss Katya Churbanova from Russia. Yeah, she's from Russia. And today we will be talking to her on KYE Talks. So to give a little bit of information about Katya, she's a PR consultant focusing on global PR and media relations for tech businesses. Her customers include companies from Russia and CIS willing to promote themselves on foreign markets, as well as companies from abroad that expand their business globally. Her key areas of work include developing PR strategies, creating content, and ensuring media coverage. She started her way in PR in 2013. Her experiences working in PR agencies in Moscow and Berlin, and in 2018, she started her own consultancy, which is Churbanova PR. As a graduate cross-cultural communications expert, she always put a special emphasis on adjusting her customers' PR strategy or PR campaign to a certain market from cultural perspective. Her personal motto is never miss a trick. Therefore, she is always open to creative thinking and out-of-the-box solutions. Let's get to know more about Katya and her venture. Hi, Katya. Welcome to KYE Talks.
Hi, Sona. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here today.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you here on KYE Talks. So, Katya, tell us about your story and how did it all start?
Well, my story started, like, I would say pretty usual. As many young people, I have graduated from university and started working for a big company, 9 to 5. It was a PR agency in Moscow back then, and it was 2013 when I first started working. So just a regular PR manager, 9 to 5 office job. Right. I have spent about a year, working like this. And then I thought that it would be kind of great and useful to me to go
start your own. Yeah, right.
Well, not actually at that time, but that time I was thinking about, having some more like international experience and going abroad for a couple of years to study. And I went to Germany where I did my master in cultural studies. And then I came back in 2 years. And again, I came back to the office job, but a bit of different position, different customers, but same routine, basically. And I've been working like this. I have already gained experience of living abroad. I have understood that I have special interest in, not just public relations, but especially global PR campaigns and customers promote their businesses all over the world. And I have worked for a while in a PR agency in Berlin and so on. And after coming back to Moscow, I have worked back again in the agency where I started, and it lasted till 2018. So 2018 was the turning point because I had a project in the agency where I was managing a group of people, and it was a big innovation forum in Moscow, which joined like 1,500 people, and it was super stressful. So it was really like I had a burnout back then actually, and I was like, okay, I definitely need a vacation, but I need just to go to some place where I would completely switch off my mind, nothing like...
Of course, we need that from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I went to Thailand, to Phuket, to a place called Fighter Street, because I've been doing sports for a while back then already, but I was, always thinking that, okay, I want to try more of that. I want to try Muay Thai, I want to try CrossFit, but I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to do this sometime later. Yeah. And then I realized, okay, this is the time when I'm going to do this.
Go and do it already. Yeah, right.
Yes. So I went, and it was, I mean, I should say this is really a special place with such a special atmosphere. I would just recommend to anyone go into that place. There are many people from all over the world. Most of them are like professional sportsmen who are either Muay Thai or mixed fight, and they just go there to train, to prepare for their competitions. But also many people just like me who are tired from the office routine and just wanted to,
you know, different, something interesting.
Who just suddenly remember that they have a body as well that needs to be trained and worked out, and some physical activity. And and I started doing sport. It was very, very interesting, very intensive. And this was just one part of my journey. And the second part, most interesting part, was meeting people. And as I've said, since there were so many different people from all over the world, I met so many amazing people. And one of the conversations I had with them, which was really a turning point that changed my mind. I still remember it was a guy from an entrepreneur from Canada, who was doing a consultancy in different for non-profit social initiatives, like helping out.
That's something really innovative.
Yeah, and I mean, what I liked about him is that he was obviously a very successful person. Because he had also like a track record of huge of a career in the companies and so on, but he also gave me the feeling that he's very happy with what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, this is what I lack, because I also I can earn money at the moment with my job, but I don't feel satisfied with what I'm doing 100%.
And that's very important.
Yes, absolutely. And so I talked to him, and this was just one thing that he said, that he just dropped in my mind. And it was okay, if you are not starting doing what you like now, that you might end up just doing what you have to for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Is this how you want to spend your whole life? And I was like, yeah. I kind of had these feelings for a while already back then, but the way he just articulated it,
right.
It was
the point. It's a very deep thought, and he really put it in words, he did justice to it wonderfully done.
Yes. And I mean, I haven't met this guy since then, and we didn't even stay in touch. I have written to him a couple of times just to thank him already after I have opened my consultancy, just to let him know that he impacted me so much. But nevertheless, we didn't we were not close friends or something like that. And I think this is also very important. This is the power of small connections that we have.
Right. Very, very wonderfully said, Katya. I mean, you weren't even looking for, this kind of a conversation or, this kind of enlightenment, and it just comes to you unexpectedly. And that can really be like you said, a turning point in a person's life.
Yeah. And so when my vacation ended, I came back to Moscow, and believe it or not, but at the moment the plane landed, and I opened my phone. I had the internet connection. Yeah, the first thing I did was just writing my boss that I want to quit, and it was like a step to nowhere, because I didn't feel sure. I had a couple of years experience in PR as an agency person, but I didn't know that I will be able to find customers as a personal.
Take it ahead on your own, do it by yourself, right? And that is one thing that everyone is really scared or worried, to take that risk. That will we be able to make it in the market, and will we be able to establish ourselves in the market? That is one thing, right?
Fear for myself as well.
So, Katya, you said that story, that incident was a turning point in your life, and that, really encouraged you to go and get it, go out in the market and do it for yourself, start your own PR agency. So, now that you've been doing it for quite a while, you've been on your own for quite a while, what would you say gives you a sense of accomplishment? Being in this field, what gives you that feeling of what is that feeling that gives you a drive to wake up every day and go do your work, go to your office and get all the work done? So what would you say is it?
It's very simple, but very important at the same time. My most important driving point is the feedback that I'm getting from my customers.
Okay.
Because working in an agency, you're working as a big team, as a machine of, I don't know, many people. And the customers you have there, they are, just because of that, they cannot, reach out to you and give you their feedback about your particular job. It's always about the team, about the company. They're praising the company. But when they do it, you don't feel like that there is
coming directly to you, right?
Yeah, and when I now get direct feedback from my customers saying, hey, wow, you have made this feature about my business appear in, I don't know, German media or Indian media or Russian media, and this is so cool. And I see the emotions, because now as a individual consultant, I mostly work with small businesses and startup or entrepreneurs as myself that run business by their own,
right?
And they don't have like big companies and big teams as well. So this is about emotions they get directly. They are happy with my job. I see that they're happy with my job, and it gives me enormous motivation to move on.
Wonderful. And isn't customer satisfaction like every entrepreneur's, it gives them a sense of accomplishment when their customers come and give a, positive feedback. And that is what an entrepreneur is working for, to, make that mark on every client that comes.
Yes. And this is just something where you feel, oh my God, I'm doing something useful.
Right. And Katya, as you said that you were doing a 9-to-5 job and you resigned the minute you landed, the minute you stepped out of that plane from Thailand, you just sent that mail and you resigned from your job. And so it was such a, quick decision that you took, and then you started out on your own. So I'm sure you must have faced your set of, difficulties or challenges, and you must have overcome them. Now that you've been doing this for quite some time, you faced your challenges, you faced those obstacles, and you've overcome them. So how would you say, how was it? And what were such obstacles, and how did you, continue to not give up? What would you say?
There were quite many obstacles. Of course, the first, as I've mentioned, was to challenge myself to start selling my services and convincing the customers. This was the first obstacle. The second, and probably most important, was that as an entrepreneur, you don't have this stability as when you work for the company.
Right.
And for example, during the pandemics, a year ago, last March, I went through a terrible situation where I had lost almost all the projects I've been working with, because all of them somehow were connected with offline events. There were like 4 events that I was going to promote, and all of them were just canceled one by one. And for me, it was again a very big challenge.
Right,
and also a good lesson that you should not focus only on one kind of customers. You should also go for someone who has their business 100% online. And of course, I know that for many people, being not sure that you get your salary twice a month, whatever happens, that this is the main barrier to switch their job and become entrepreneurs. But for me, still, the advantages that you receive from understanding that you have the responsibility for your own life, for your income, that you are really a master of your life. For me, this is more important than this stability. So I think that's why actually did it.
Like you mentioned that leaving a job and the secure payment that a person gets every month, that's one of the biggest risks that a person has to take while taking that decision of leaving the job and becoming an entrepreneur, starting out on yourself. Don't know if you'll even get money in the beginning, in the starting months. And that's one risk that every entrepreneur, I'm sure, has to take. So, Katya, what would you say now? Since you mentioned COVID, it's been a tough time. It's been a tough year, and it's affected a lot of businesses. And as you mentioned, it affected yours as well. So now, at this point, what do you feel are the factors that will, help you achieve your aspirations? I mean, before COVID hit, you must have had certain plans and goals, and because of COVID, they were all, they all had to take a back seat. So now to reach those aspirations, to reach those goals, what are the factors that you feel will help you?
Well, I feel it's persistence that always helps. So you should be persistent in reaching your goals. And
right. Very rightly.
Yeah, and it's again the ability to deliver some certain level of quality, because you can, if we're speaking about how you can grow your business as an entrepreneur, it's not always about finding new and different customers. Sometimes you just grow together with your customer, and you can offer new services to them. They feel that they grow quicker with the job you are doing. And this is again very important. But another point that I have realized that it's important for me is that I have a good vibe, a good feeling about the companies and businesses I'm working with.
Nice.
Because it's not about the money, not only about the money. Sometimes you just feel that this thing they are doing or the project they're producing, it might be good, but it doesn't strike a chord, So
for you also, like you said, you feel that vibe, that is because you believe in the work that they are doing, and you believe that you can promote them well and do justice with it. And that isn't that what we all want? We want to believe in the work that we're doing, that this is gonna, grow very well.
Yeah, and it sounds just like a big word, something, but in fact, it is so important, because if you believe in what you're doing, you are getting like 10 times more productive when you're working with them.
Very rightfully said, Katya. So, moving on with the next question is, it's been a while that you're doing this on your own, and I'm sure, like every journey teaches us a lot. And entrepreneurship is a journey in itself. So you must have learned a lot, and a lot must have changed within you. So how would you say has this journey, changed you as a person?
Well, in many ways. But first of all, I started trusting myself more.
Right.
Because it made me way more sure about who I am and about what my value is.
Right.
Because realizing that you can be successful not just as a part of a team but as on your own, it makes you feel that you mean something, that you are really good.
Yeah, you believe more in yourself. It's like proving yourself to yourself.
Absolutely. And the consequence of that is that you are more willing to empower the others.
Right.
So now when I hear that someone is thinking of switching from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, I'm always there to support, because I've gone this way by myself, and I just want to empower people who are in the same position as me back in 2018.
Right. And like you said, it's not always easy to take that first step, but it's always worth it when you take that first step.
Yeah, absolutely. It's better to regret what is done, even if you not succeed, than to regret something that you could have done but you didn't.
Yeah, right. That's a very nice thing that you said. I always say that you should not have regrets of not having tried, But then there is also that one kind of regret that if you've tried and it just didn't work out. And that regret is always better than having, not tried at all.
Because it gives experience.
Right. It gives you experience, and experience is something that will always help you grow. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Katya, coming to the end of this, KYE talk, what would be your message to our audience, to such, budding entrepreneurs who have ideas, but they're just too scared to take that risk or to leave that 9-to-5 job or to, believe in themselves? What is the message that you would like to give?
I think my main message would be to listen to yourself more carefully, because sometimes your conscious is telling you, has told you all the things already. You just don't hear them. You just don't listen to yourself.
And but, like it happened in Katya's, her own story, that she knew she wasn't happy in the work that she was doing, but it took a person to come and, have that conversation with her that struck that chord, and, she just knew what she had to do later.
Yes, and sometimes to hear yourself, to hear your conscious, you just need to have a little bit more rest. So my second message would be to go on vacation and relax.
And have a little bit of a stress-less time, because life is very stressful and you need to take a little bit of break every now and then.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, Katya. Thank you for coming here on KYE Talks and sharing your journey with us. And telling us your, insightful thoughts.
Thank you so much, Sona. And thank you everyone who will be watching this video. Please feel free to connect with me on social media and website. I will be more than happy to chat and
Yes, to my viewers, I would like to say that we will be tagging Katya's social media handles down below in the description box. Do go and check out, give her a thumbs up, and you can definitely reach her out. She just said that you can.